Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For those tuning in on the simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X, we're glad you all can be with us. Going to bring in our friends over on IG so they can be a part of our conversation. And last but certainly not least, going to connect with our friends over on Amazon Live. As we're kicking off a brand new year, we're excited to be able to welcome back to our program someone who's been able to not only to build a platform to engage others in communication, but also a dialogue that's so important. And she's expanding that in 2026. We're now live on the Amazon Live platform with Cyrus Webb Presents. If you guys are new to us on Amazon, welcome. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button either here in this corner or down below. You also will see one of the books by our next guest. You guys can see it here, and your God shall be my God. But you also will see the latest issue of our Conversations magazine, Women Rock. And our next guest is actually on the cover. I'm talking about Melanie D. Phillips. She's joining us today to talk about her platform, Strengthen the Bond. Boy, it's been like for her to see her grow. Hello to you, Miss Phelps. My high school art teacher is joining us. Melanie over there on IG. Melissa Banks, hello to you as well on IG. Melanie, welcome back to the broadcast.
Thank you, and thanks for having me. I am elated to be back on the podcast.
Well, glad to have you on with us. As I mentioned, you're one of our features for our Women Rock issue that's
I
out now here on
know.
Amazon. Going to highlight it now. What has it been like for you, Melanie, as we kick off our conversation to not only be able to share people your platform, but also the impact you be able to have on the lives of other people?
You know what? It's been amazing to impact everyone, especially the families, and started off impacting mothers and daughters and just helping them be able to have a stronger relationship. And
Mhm.
then in the midst of that, starting this year, I have kicked off a whole plethora, I ain't gonna say a plethora, but quite a wide range of different things that's coming into the fold. And one
Yeah,
being fathers and sons, and
yeah.
just expanding, especially when it comes to kids, the family as a whole. When you strengthen the family, I always say it starts with the family. When you strengthen the family, then you are strengthening the community, and you are strengthening everything, the church and everything else, because the family is very important. And the family, this is where the legacy start. Many people think that legacy mean leaving money and this, but legacy meaning bringing the family together so they can be able to have a stronger bond.
Yeah.
So that's
Love
what
that.
I am excited about.
We're going to talk more about that, Melanie. Hello to you, young Jody. Good to be able to see you. Congratulations to you, young Jody, on a great 2025. Excited about being able to see what you're going to be doing this year as well. And that invitation still stands, young Jody. I messaged you about coming on the program too. We have to get you on too. So let's go back to me, the big word that connects everything you do, Melanie. And I think it's so important. It's such an important word, and that is communication. And I
Yes.
think it's one of those things, of course, that all of us, whether we're talking about parents and children or even spouses, talking to each other, whether it is the way that we just communicate in our workplace with our friends, communication is such a vital thing. When did you realize the importance and power of communication when building your platform, Melanie?
Because a lot of times communication is broken down.
Mhm.
When building the platform, I started off just bringing mothers and daughters together, and that was back in 2017. That kicked off everything. Mothers and daughters, making them there, especially because a lot of times mothers and daughters are oftentimes are at odds with each other.
Mhm.
And that's because it's the breakdown of the communication. Mothers
Mhm.
may have something that's gone on, especially when they were younger, things that they have not unpacked to bring into the mother-daughter relationship.
Mhm.
And a lot of times they are telling the daughter what to do instead of explaining to them, this is what happened to me, and this is the reasoning behind the way that I do things.
Yeah.
So, you have to be able to explain. It's so easy for us to tell our daughters, you do as I say, but not as I do. But then they see you do things and the communication is not there. This is because that you were not able to maybe communicate with your mother, or able to talk about your past. So
Yeah.
in bringing that into the future, bringing the mothers and daughters together so that they can be able to better communicate, to have a better relationship, be able to understand each other more, and then bringing the fathers in as well. So the communication is a big piece, especially when there are past traumas, that have not been dealt with. Because if
Right.
you don't deal with your past, you cannot go into your future being strong as you should be, because you're going to be leaving broken pieces behind.
Mhm.
So that's a lot of the communication piece. Communication is so important, that we communicate the right way. Yes, no
Yeah.
one lives a perfect life, but the communication is just being able to sit down and talk about it, why things are happening the way that it happened, and
Mhm.
what and how can we move forward so that we can be able to understand each other. Because I always say we are not each other, but we are each other's keeper. So
Mhm.
being
That's such
able
an important point, Melanie, for sure. And I was asking that question, especially as we're kicking off this year, Melanie, as people are thinking about how they want to be able to build, their own brands, right, and build their own, their own platforms. Looking at how you were able to do it, could you have imagined, though, as you mentioned, that Strength in the Bond began with mothers and daughters? Could you have imagined it would grow and expand the way it has?
I did not. In the beginning, I did not. But it wasn't until this year when God told me to expand, bring in the fathers, because fathers play a big role in regards to the families as well.
Mhm.
Bring in the sons, but not just that, bring in, try to unpack the baggage before the bride to be and the groom to be go down that aisle. Because what
Mm.
if you have not dealt with your past, it's going to be a lot bringing all of that trauma and that baggage into the future with someone else.
Yeah.
So in order to be able to go, because when you're married, you already have enough stuff that you have to deal with, your relationship and
Right.
all of that, being a bride, being a husband, and they're bringing their past, their mothers, their fathers, their if they have children, they may not, but if they have past relationships like children that they have to bring in. So if you have not unpacked the baggage, then it's a lot. So no, I did not think that it would have expanded this much. But
Mhm.
strengthening the bond, even with that, strengthen the bond that matters most before you say I do. You have to strengthen the relationships with your past, so that when you go into your future, you will be all on one accord.
Mhm.
And like I say, even with fathers, a lot of times people, we always talk about mothers and daughters, because my platform started off with mothers and daughters.
Right.
But this year, when God say bring in fathers, because they are important piece, they just as important as a mother. It wouldn't be any children without the father. I mean, let's
Yeah.
just keep it honest.
You're right.
So we have to make sure that we acknowledge the father, and
Mhm.
then if he has anything going on, that needs to be dealt with, and that needs to be talked about as well.
Yeah.
So
And I know you have an ebook you're working on, Melanie,
yeah.
as well, to kind of help bring that connection in. So I want to go back then and talk about, you mentioned 2025, and when you realized that things were going to be expanding for
Mhm,
you. I want to talk about what it's been like for you to do it in so many different ways, because I know in watching you, you not only are writing books like the one I have here, you're
mhm,
not only doing interviews like this, you also are doing these in-person events as well.
mhm,
Talk to us about what it's been like for you to be in the room, Melanie, and to feel how the work you're
mhm,
doing is impacting people in real time. Because the thing about books is you spend time writing these books.
mhm.
You never know how people are going to respond, when they're going to respond, if you'll ever hear from them. But when you're working with people in person, you can kind of feel that energy and feel the shifts sometimes happen. What has that been like for you?
You know, it's awarding,
Mm.
and it keeps me humble, and it lets me know that when I am working very hard and I want to quit, that I should not give up, because
Yeah.
there are the things that I'm doing. People are not just watching just to be watched. Of course, you get those onlookers, but you
Mhm.
also get those people, those silent people that would say, Melanie, what you are doing made a big impact in my life.
Yeah.
I just back in October strengthened the bond. We did an event to honor cancer survivors. I am not my diagnosis. Now,
Mhm.
I'm like, Lord, why would you have me to do this? And I even started to back out of it because it was supposed to have been done back in June. And I was like, oh, let me back out of it. I'm not going to do it. And so then I said, well, if I do it, it'll be in October. But then I was kind of, on the fence with doing it. And then come to find out, the person that's in the background of everything, my assistant and friend, in which she's more than an assistant. She wears many hats within my Strength in the Bond organization.
Yeah.
She was diagnosed with cancer, with breast
Mhm.
cancer. And I was like, okay, Lord, this is why. This is why you wanted me to do this. So in the midst of doing that, bringing her forth, being on that journey with her, when I even got, because it was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. When I
Mhm.
got there, I ended up going to, the hospital with her, the place where she goes to get her treatment. And, when she went and first got a haircut, when they cut all of her hair off, and I was there with her. So being on
Mhm.
that journey with her, pouring into her, praying for her, just being there to hold her hand, and then speaking into the other women, and them even speaking into each other.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. So I know that God has me on the right road when it comes to helping others, because it's not about me. I've never had cancer, but it's
Yeah.
also about bringing those people together, not only for themselves, but for them to link arms with the other women or
Mhm.
men, to let them know that I am too here for you. If you have any questions in regards to you going through cancer, in regards to you going through chemotherapy or radiation, then I'm here with you. So just seeing the people up close and personal, being able to tell their testimony and thanking me. And I'm like, it's not me. It's
Mhm.
just what God has allowed me to do. And just saying and being able to speak into those other people, that's where I get my joy from. That's where I feel the most blessed.
Mhm. That's powerful. Hello to you, Victor White, over there on IG. Hello to you, one truly me as well. I want to reset real quick, Melanie, and say for those who are just tuning in, welcome. You all are watching Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live, but we're simulcasting on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and on Instagram. Melanie D. Phillips is our guest for this segment. She's an Amazon bestselling author, motivational speaker. Her brand is Strengthen the Bond, which she's been able to build and expand on as we're heading into 2026 is what we're talking about, but also what's been like for her to see how the last year has kind of set the stage for this year. So that's where I want to conclude with you, Melanie, and talking about that as we're beginning a brand new year. What are some of the things you're excited about then when you've seen what Strength and Abundance yourself has been able to do leading up to 2026? What are you excited about this year?
Cyrus, I'm excited about so much. It's so many things that I'm working on. Of course, I'm working on ebooks regarding strengthening the bond within families, because when you strengthen the bond, it goes, that's just the umbrella. Now, it was at first just like I say for the mother and the daughter, but now strengthen the
Right.
bond is the umbrella, which houses a lot of things underneath it. And especially you talking about fathers and sons, bringing them into the fold. Strengthening that bond, strengthening the bond in regards to fathers dealing with their past, with their fathers.
Mm.
I mean, we don't know why some men, we know we're not talking about all men, because there are some
Right.
great men out there. I mean, great, but you don't really hear about what those men do, because you hear about the ones that don't step up and do what
Yeah.
they're doing. And that's something that I don't like. You are, when you're looking at social media, you are always hearing people talking about, well, you on these different podcasts talking about the men ain't doing this or the women are not doing this. But here's the thing: there are good men and good women out there, more
Right.
so than the ones that is not doing things. But
Right.
then if you're going to talk about that, let's address why they did not step up. Maybe it's because they were not taught how to step up. It could have been a learned environment. So we need, again, they need to unpack all of that. So we're talking about that. We are talking about, again, strengthen the bond, illiteracy when it comes to the youth. How to write and think like a youth and kidpreneur, teaching them not only to become authors, how to write and think and become authors, but teaching them how to become entrepreneurs as well. Starting that off, and me proposing that, writing proposals to different schools and organizations and community centers and churches, so that I can get that started with the youth and kids from the 3rd grade up to the 12th grade, because they need to know how to express themselves through writing as well. So getting that done, again, it's so much, Cyrus. I was asked to be a part, bring Strengthen the Bond into, and I don't even know if I told you about this. I'm partnering with Tall Girls United. And I think, as I always say, I'm the shortest tall girl it is, because I'm 5'7". So the women WNBA will be in Phoenix, Arizona, April of 2016. So what Strengthen the Bond will be doing, we will be partnering with the Tall Girls United to bring different workshops and during the WNBA. So being there for those women as well. And when I was asked to do that, I was like, okay, wow. How does Strengthen the Bond, how does that play into something like that? And I was told, easy. You are already strengthening families. You're already strengthening, like you say, communities. So therefore, when you talk to the women, you do a workshop with the women, you know that the community and everything else falls right under there, strengthening those relationships. So Strengthen the Bond does a lot, and I've been asked to do a lot this coming year, so much so that I don't have everything written down, and I don't want to give everything off too quickly. But yes.
Yeah, love it. Nicole on Facebook says, I'm loving the youth and kids leaders. Yeah, I think that's great too, helping them and being able to see how they could be entrepreneurs now. A lot of great things happening. So glad we get to have you on as we're kicking off this year, Melanie, and to have you featured in the Women Rock issue of Conversations magazine. If you guys have not gotten yours yet, make sure you guys get it here on Amazon. I'm going to highlight it again for you guys on the Amazon side. And of course, for those of you who are joining us on social media, you'll be able to find the link on our social media. Melanie, congratulations to you. Let our audience know how they can stay connected with you.
You can stay connected with me across all platforms. Strengthen the Bond. Instagram at Strengthen the Bond. And my name is Melanie D. Phillips. On my website is strengthenthebond.com or melaniedphillips.com. And TikTok is Strengthen the Bond. Everything is Strengthen the Bond except for I'm having a whole brain fart now. Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm having a whole brain fart. Okay, Facebook is Melanie Richardson Phillips. I did have, and actually I do have Strengthen the Bond there as well. But it's actually under Melanie Richardson Phillips, because Melanie D. Phillips, that page was hacked. And so now I use my maiden name, Melanie Richardson Phillips, and I took out the hyphen so that people will still be able to find me. So even Strengthen the Bond on there as well. So yes, it is a blessing.
Nicole says on IG, sisters like this bless me because she said she has her 16-year-old has 5 books on Amazon. Wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome, Nicole. Thank you so much for sharing that. Congratulations to them as well. Congratulations to you as well, Melanie. Excited about the great things coming up this year and looking forward to a next chat together.
Yes, me too. Thank you, Cyrus. And I'm so looking forward to 2026 with you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And we thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.